Greenhouse effect good. Most people would consider global warming bad. Why is it bad? Well, why is it happening? It's happening, we know from GCC, we're emitting lots of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere because we're all in our little cars, driving around, emitting carbon dioxide. We're also burning lots of fossil fuels, which have had trapped carbon in them for millions of years to produce all the electricity that we need. Methane, as we said, is coming from all the cattle that we farm to keep everybody happy at fast food chains and so on. So you have your burgers and have lots of meat. So that's why we think temperatures on Earth are getting higher on average. What is the effect that that's happening on the Earth? So we can say we need to control global warming. Resulting from increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Why is that? Because these are reasons we think there's going to be some big changes happening in the climate. Some people will look decide to go, yay, global warming, it means we're going to have a lovely climate in England. We're not going to have cold and things like that. But it may not be as straightforward as we think. What happens as the temperature gets higher? What happens to rainfall? In terms of what happens, what causes rain? The evaporation of water. More evaporation, more water, more rain. So we think we'll have increased rainfall, which may lead to flooding. In some areas. However, in others, because of the way all the atmosphere is going to change, we could end up having less rain in other areas. So we could lead to droughts in other areas. May suffer droughts. What do we reckon is going to happen to the poles? Earth's getting warmer, all that's... Yeah, the ice caps could melt. Which will lead to what?
A rise in sea levels, so just kind of low-lying areas of the mountain.
Yeah, causing rising sea levels and flooding of low-lying areas. Flooding of, let's say, areas near sea level. We said about higher rainfall. What do you reckon? People have sort of said this is happening now. We could get more hurricanes, more extreme weather in areas. So Because the atmosphere is hotter, it's got more energy, which means if it's got more energy, you're going to get stronger winds, so you're going to get more extreme storms.
And it also feeds to with higher water temperatures.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, because that feeds the hurricanes, doesn't it, the temperature of the water. Another one is obviously if the temperature increases, what happens to water when it gets hot? It expands, so if the oceans start expanding, it's going to cause even more flooding. So higher temperatures result in sea levels rising further as the water expands. So there's just a few that we should try and control. So controlling global warming. The main thing is we all work together on this one around the world. Because there's no point England doing something if the rest of the world carry on as normal, because we, although we're bad, it's a global problem. We've all got to come to an agreement about this. So what can we do about it? Well, the two things is, first of all, is we need to actually prove, scientists need to prove global warming is happening. Not everybody believes it. And once we've done that, we also need to monitor progress to make sure that countries are meeting their targets. So they're not just saying, yeah, we'll cut it, we'll do it, but on the side they don't monitor progress. There was the Kyoto Protocol, progress, what should you say, against initiatives, yeah. Such as sometimes we all get together, countries all come to agreements, but we need to actually prove that we are meeting those agreements. We're not just carrying on going, yeah, we're doing it. So chemists are developing carbon capture and storage. Called CCS for short. And there's different ways that we can do that. The first way, which is kind of slightly odd, is we can react the carbon dioxide with metal oxides to absorb it. So we can take a metal oxide, so one thing is reaction with metal oxides, slightly weird, but you basically take your metal oxide like calcium oxide, that will react with carbon dioxide to give you calcium carbonate. So you're storing the carbon dioxide as a carbonate, slightly odd because you've got to get the oxide in the first place to do that. However, it is a way of removing it, I suppose. You can also take the waste carbon dioxide, so you can inject the waste carbon dioxide as a liquid deep into the oceans. And hope it doesn't come back up again. Again. Probably the best way is you can store it in deep geological formations. And that's what we'll look at now, because that's probably the one that they've made most progress on at the moment. This is probably the worst diagram you will ever see, but hopefully it will explain. So here, this is the sea, that's my oil rig. My oil rig is on the sea. This is where my oil is. Yeah? So the oil rig takes the oil and pumps it after being processed, etc., to the power station. Yeah? So here comes the oil up. As the oil leaves here, there's empty space. So the power station is producing carbon dioxide. The power station gets that carbon dioxide, doesn't let it out in the atmosphere, and takes it down here and shoves it in the place where the oil was. Yeah? Okay. Slightly more technical than that, to be fair, but that's the basic idea around it. So you basically remove oil, which is quite good in a way, because it's quite difficult to get the oil out of there, but if you keep pumping carbon dioxide in there, it's going to force it out a little bit. Quite technically difficult, and there's obviously different processes here in terms of how we actually get the carbon dioxide stopping going up into the atmosphere. But that's one idea of how to stop the carbon dioxide being produced going off into the atmosphere. You burn the oil, produce the power, don't let the carbon dioxide out of here, and then you squirt it back to where the oil was.